Most of us go about in our everyday lives just eating and consuming food, and I'm assuming since you have the internet connection to watch this video that you are one of the privileged members who gets to enjoy food on a regular basis. So this becomes routine for us. Very rarely, I think, in this society do we stop and consider the visual effect food plays in our lives. The visual aspect of food plays a huge role in the overall experience of a meal. It's more pleasant to have an artistically plated meal rather than an unappetizing pile of mush. It influences taste, it fosters a sense of pride, which food would you rather eat? A plate that's nicely done, or this? According to Cynthia Sass, a leading nutritionist for Shape.com, we eat with our eyes as well as our stomachs, so foods that are aesthetically appealing tend to be more satisfying. So even small improvements in the appearance of our foods can have larger consequences than you might imagine. A study in nursing homes several years ago showed that pureed food that was plated and shaped as recognizable 3D objects increased acceptance rates and weight loss among the residents. So instead of rejecting what would have been a pile of mush that they can eat with their toothless mouths, was more accepted if it was plated and designed to be more aesthetically pleasing. So this goes to show that you don't have to be a culinary master or an artist so much to improve the quality of your food by improving the appearance. Taste is affected by sight. All of our senses are connected to one another. Within a society, colors often become associated with certain tastes, so uniform colors encourage one to associate what you're tasting with a known taste, or enhance that taste that you're looking for. By this notion, producing attractive and colorful plates that look more like the pictures in acclaimed magazines, your brain will associate that 4-star taste to your meal. Because of our social culinary needs, in America specifically, with advertising and processing and whatnot, it's beginning to become a trend that stronger, brighter colors have become associated with intensified flavors and tastes. Color in our environment also affects our culinary experience. Restaurants use warm hues on walls like red and orange because it is said to encourage appetite and produce higher tips. When food is pretty and plated with intention, I tend to take more time to really enjoy it rather than just shovel it in. When you get those plates that have all of the syrup work or garnishing, you don't want to destroy that, because to me it's a piece of art. So you tend to slow down and enjoy the food, and you're expecting higher quality taste, so you also look for that more so than you would if you weren't paying attention to the visual aspect of food. As I mentioned, I think that plating your food fosters a sense of pride, because a meticulously prepared dish is a form of art. There are special methods of photography entirely dedicated to taking pictures of food and color, and they use that in advertising to suggest enhanced taste. There's a product that is evidence of this that's fairly new, and it's called Light, which is an LED lighting system designed to significantly boost the visual impact of food displays in grocery stores, with the objective of attracting additional footfall by making food displays look brighter, fresher, and more colorful. So even tricks that are used in other forms of art, like lighting up a picture or for photography specifically, there are now specific kinds of light that are going just to enhancing the appearance of food because it affects how we think it will taste. There's an entire psychological side of eating that is more subconscious than we realize. And so what we see and smell and all the other senses has a psychological effect on how it tastes, how we process the taste of that food. I also consider plating or pictures of food to kind of be a sort of visual narrative. It almost tells a story to the remote viewers like any other form of photography. It raises questions like, who's going to be eating this food and why? Quite often, the food that you see is not food that you see in your everyday kitchen, so it makes us think of the occasion or this lifestyle that the person who would be consuming that might live. So it alludes to some other life, which I think is an interesting concept. There are entire websites dedicated to images of pretty food. My favorite is www.foodporndaily.com, which itself is a creme de la creme collection of other people's records of attractive foods that they post on their blogs or websites. But it's not hard to find websites that are dedicated just to food and the visual appearance of it. So these people have obviously taken note of the artistic form of food and probably have an idea of how it affects their entire culinary experience. So this is why I think that we need to start paying more attention to food in our society today, regarding it with its visual aspects. So, in an attempt to make our own food porn, Chris and I set out on an endeavor to make goji pear and currant crepes with a maple butter sauce. It ended up taking us a lot longer than expected, about an hour and 40 minutes. So this video is actually 64 times sped up. But it was well worth it just to have something as pretty as it was sitting on our table. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll post the recipe in this blog post if you're interested.